Hello, my friends. Today's date is February the 11th, and this is a reading for you if this is your birth date. This is a four-card pull, a general energy card for the year to follow, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to stay in balance, and an outcome or synopsis card. This is the general energy card of the year. It is the prayer. And what does the prayer ask us to reflect upon? Well, I think the prayer is any time we get out of our own self centeredness and we look toward a higher energy and we ask for guidance or we ask for clarity or we ask for help or we ask for assistance or we ask for someone else's benefit. And prayer can be anything from, consciously serving others to to chanting and singing and lifting oneself out of one's own smallness and touching the sacred and the reverent. Maybe that comes in nature. Maybe that comes in some kind of religious ceremony. That maybe that comes in just the everyday prayers that one has that asks for things to be different, asks for things to be more aligned with what we wish to see, what we hope to see, what we want to see in the world, in ourselves, in someone else. So this is a question about your relationship to prayer, I think, and whether you um, can pray in the ways that are going to benefit you, and if you do pray in ways that benefit you, or if you are stuck in a inability to lift yourself out of yourself and need something, someone, some energies to come and help you in this uh, movement, in this understanding, in this awareness that by myself I cannot do this. I do not have enough information or energy or possibilities to change this, and I need some kind of assistance, some kind of guidance, some kind of clarity to help me to go forward. So that is kind of the sense of what prayer is, and I don't believe prayer is connected to any particular god or any goddess or deity. It's not connected to any particular situation. It's not connected to any particular group. It is your own sincere, heartfelt wish for things to be different, better, more aligned with how you wish them to be. So, what is your particular challenge is the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is normally, a very peace filled situation. Look at this beautiful waterfall of cleansing coming down into beautiful flat pools of healing that cascade gently down through, offering many different possibilities of cleansing and bathing and healing one's soul. But that's your challenge, is to allow yourself to be at peace, to allow yourself to trust in the flow of things, to allow yourself to feel calm in the face of things that might be disturbing you. And I think something is disturbing you, and I think you feel like something or someone is taking something from you. And you wish to understand who that is and what that is, and why you feel disturbed by some kind of energy that you have not yet learned how to come to peace with, come to grips with, come to understanding of, because it seems like it's underneath and it's not spelled out clearly, and it's not giving you anything to anchor yourself into. So this swirling underneath you of what is going on, what am I feeling? I don't feel at peace and calm. I feel disrupted. I feel energy swirling. I feel like I don't want to share. I feel like I don't want to give. And when your nature is one that is about giving, your nature is one about service. Your nature is one about being very, very prayerful. This is a very prayerful card, I believe. In learning that you can't do it alone, does one accept help uh, from others, including, Creator, up to that level of existence, which allows you to trust that you'll be informed if you need to take action. You'll be informed if you need to really be scared of something. You'll be informed if you really need to enact something in your life that moves you toward something else that feels like it's a calling for you. But at this moment, for some reason in this year, something disturbs your peace and makes you question what is really going on. So what is your action to take? Well, it is the weasel. And the weasel has a bad rep, for one. It's called a thief. It's called something, or it lurks around the corners and comes in and steals your shiny blazing jewels and runs off with them. But the weasel is more about that ability just to have stealth, to be quiet and listen and be watchful and be aware of what is going on. And this particular time calls for stealth, calls for you to be aware, calls for you to snoop around in essence, and with your eyes open. But you're asked to have your heart open too. And I think that's the prayer. It's like you don't necessarily know what you're going to find or who you're going to find behind what you think are your troubles. And maybe what really needs to be there, besides your anger, possibly, or resentment or frustration at feeling like somebody is intruding on your space, taking your things, touching things that shouldn't be touched without your permission. Maybe you should understand, when you find out who that is, understand deeply through your Eight of Cups nature, your sense of service and peace and willingness to find some kind of deep understanding and love and compassion for somebody, is the prayer to bring light to this individual, is the prayer to help this individual who might be doing something to you, quote, for you to send love to them and send compassion to them and send a higher vision to them and send a higher ability for them to work what they need to work. And it's also for you to pray for yourself to listen deeply, because oftentimes we want to just automatically judge and say, oh, they're bad, they're wrong, I'm a victim, I'm violated. But you got to hear the other person's story. And I think that's as much about the listening that the weasel brings as anything. The stealth is in being quiet and listening and watching and hearing and feeling deeply what's really truly going on. And until you know what's going on for somebody else, how can you really judge them for what they're doing? Maybe there's a great sense of compassion you hold for this being, if you would actually listen to their stories and honestly hear where they're coming from. And maybe they need help. Maybe they're praying for your help. Maybe they're praying for something bigger to come up and get them out of some kind of dilemma that they're in. And this is always about, life is a two-way street. Sometimes we need to pray for ourselves, and sometimes we need to pray for somebody else. And oftentimes we need to hear somebody deeply and learn how to not judge them from our own prejudices and our own fears and our own pains, because we are often our own worst victims, and we will often project what we think we are seeing in others and what is experienced to us before. And maybe we're just off. And so a great prayer now is for the light of consciousness to come to me, the light of clarity to come to me. I pray for the highest and holiest of understandings. I pray for the light of consciousness to imbue me with its power of love and compassion and honesty and integrity and willingness to hear and go deeply in order to have some healing occur. And I think the prayer is ultimately about wanting healing, wanting the best thing that can possibly happen for yourself and for someone else. Because prayer is not just about oneself, and that's usually when prayer is best, is when it's working toward helping someone else who's in pain. So blessed be to your prayers this year, and blessed be to your remembering your peace, and blessing be to your willingness to listen deeply to what is really happening underneath, and not just project, and not just live in fear, and not just live in anxiety. And then you become more of a whole being, a whole mitakoyasa.